everybody? We are back. It is Taped on Last Favorites Podcast, Favorites Channel, Favorites Everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also, follow us on Twitter at @TheMarkJohnNFL for me, at MHolder95 for Matt. And then, of course, PandaSubs.com. Discount code TDL, 35% off. It's workout season. Go ahead and hit up Panda Subs, get your protein and your focus and all your good stuff. Hit that gym and, and annoy regular gym goers because you're new there. But you got your PandaSubs.com. You got your Panda Subs. All right, here we go. We got a new offensive coordinator after we got a new offensive coordinator. So we've had two new offensive coordinators. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's not the Raiders without a little bit of drama. Just a little bit of drama. You gotta throw some in the mix there.
Yeah. I gave my Kingsbury breakdown to my dude Jamal, who does Commander stuff. It was perfect. I actually did it for him, I guess. Did a whole breakdown, deep dive, so he could have some numbers there. But we got a new offensive coordinator, so we're definitely going to talk about that. Most of the show is going to be about that. But let's first we'll talk about a little Senior Bowl. We both went to the Senior Bowl. We didn't do a full recap. I did a little reaction after the second practice, but of course there was another practice, right? So your overall thoughts on the Senior Bowl and what players you thought for the Raiders could catch your eye?
Yeah, I mean, I think we kind of talked about a little bit of them. Quinyon Mitchell, I know he actually didn't even practice on Thursday. He was suited up, and I think his agent pulled him off the field right as soon as he hit the line for warmups. And then, Darius Robinson was the other guy who was, I think, the overall practice player of the week. I think I talked about him a little bit too. Guy that if the Raiders want to fit, they probably have to bulk up a little bit, but it was a standout. Let's see, linebacker class. I mean, kind of the theme of the year for me. It's just very disappointing. Not a whole ton of talent. So if you're Divine Diablo, I feel like you're sitting pretty right now. I don't see any of these guys in this class really coming in and taking the spot from him, even if they even if they do get one of the top guys in there, and not even at the Senior Bowl. But yeah, let's see. I'm trying to think of guys. I mean, talked about the quarterbacks. Bo Nix had his best day on Thursday. I think he was pretty disappointing overall. Mm-hmm. Probably would have saw Penix. The reviews were mixed, but I don't know. I feel like the thing about Penix is if you hadn't studied Penix prior to the Senior Bowl, I feel like you'd walk away really impressed because you see the big arm strength and you see all that he can do. But if you have paid more attention to him, it's like, okay, well, I wanted to see the accuracy, the decision-making change, and the pocket management change. And he didn't do anything to dispel that rumors. He just kind of highlighted his strengths and at the same time, showed his weaknesses a little bit too. So I think that's where the divide came between them. And that being said, he was better than Sam Hartman and Bo Nix. I'll acknowledge that to win for his team's quarterback of the week. But yeah, kind of a disappointing day from the two big names at quarterback, or disappointing week, I should say. Yeah,
somebody on TikTok was talking about how we can't judge players by the Senior Bowl, and I was like, wait a second. Yes, we can. That's the biggest one. The combine is the one we can't. This is the one we can judge, guys, because Justin Herbert and all those guys, they played really well there. Right. And Penix was up and down. And then, one guy commented that he won the national player for quarterback. And I was like, bro, it was Nix and Sam Hartman. Of course he did. Yeah. And so Penix didn't really impress me that much. I was impressed more by Spencer Rattler than anything, which it's all about his maturity, with him. But he had an interception. Maybe Tuesday was a little rough. He had the interception on Tuesday, but I think on Wednesday and Thursday he looked a lot better. He definitely went out there and had some good throws, especially in the red zone. When I went back and watched some of the 7-on-7 from the American team on the All-22, he had some good throws there too, man. Really had some good back shoulders. And, he just looked in control. And then he had a good game, I thought it was a great week for him. He really helped himself a lot. But we don't know why he got kicked out of the team in high school. And that's the thing. We don't know. But the NFL is going to find out. They're going to figure out.
Oh, they're going to find out.
And that's going to be his whole draft status. I'm telling you. Because we don't know. You can look it up. I can Google it. There's rumors.
Yeah. The rumors, I think, are when I remember when that happened because he's on that like QB1 show. Like I feel like if it wasn't for that show, like Spencer Rattler's draft stock, like or at least like perception of it from the fans would be so much higher. But like he just came across like such an ass in that whole show, and like you said, got kicked off his high school team and all that stuff. And that just like kind of made him like go in the tanks, at least from the public perception.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it, and I think Jim Nagy actually brought this up. It's kind of unfair to hold an 18-year-old who was on top of the world at the time, like the number one recruit, like, oh, he was a cocky asshole. Yeah, probably so were most of the kids that were in his position. And I think like the whole like stuff with at Oklahoma with him getting benched and benched for Caleb Williams. Yeah. I feel like he has like kind of calmed down and humbled out a little bit.
You got humbled.
So yeah, and I mean, like you said, like as far as him playing on the field, like he was the most consistent passer out there for sure all week. It's just with him, the biggest concern besides all the off the field stuff that again most of which happened when he was 18 years old and like a young kid.
I mean, the thing is, Matt, I just want to cut it here. The thing is, Matt, is that we don't know what he did. It's the most under the rug. They made sure he got to Oklahoma. Let's say that. They made sure he got to Oklahoma. So that's the thing. The NFL's going to figure it out. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know where he's going to go. Because if the NFL gets, somebody gets a little iffy and then, you win a lot, I feel like he might fall more than we like. But it all depends on how his interviews does. And I just don't know what happened, man. It must have been bad.
Were there anything like, because you live in that area, like is there any rumor? I mean, obviously there are rumors, but like
there's rumors, but I'm not gonna say on this show, but there's rumors. I'll talk to you. You asked me after the show.
Sounds good. That's an off-air conversation, off the
record conversation for that one. But yeah, that was probably the best quarterback there, and because the linemen were pretty damn good, especially on the national team, like Fuaga, Jackson Powers, even Isaiah Adams had a good week. There's some other dudes. I can never say his name right, so I'm not gonna say it. The guy from Kansas who played like three different positions. Puny, yes, Puny. I was gonna say Petrie again, but I was like, I stopped myself and I just gave it to Matt there to save me. So Puny, he had a great week too as well. They moved him around. There are really a lot of studs on the national team. A lot of guys that the Raiders could look into.
Yeah. I mean, even the guy on the American team, like Tyler Guyton, he had a pretty good week, plays right tackle for Oklahoma. Could be a good like second or day two target for the Raiders. Like, I should have brought up the O-line. The O-line, as someone who went there to go scout defensive linemen, I walked away very impressed with the offensive line. Let's put it that way. Like they had a pretty good week on both teams, really, but especially like you said, that national team where when I was going back and watching the film, I just couldn't help but like falling in love with like Jackson Powers Johnson's reps. Like he'd have some in pass pro where like I wasn't 100% paying attention. I was like, oh, that was a nice rep. And most of the time, 9 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, it was Jackson Powers Johnson. I mean, he made himself some cash this past weekend, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's an option at 13 for sure. It won't be the most exciting, but it'll probably be a home run though. It's a home run. That's what it looks like.
I would compare it to like when the Cowboys drafted, and I mean, this is probably too lofty and me living in the moment a little bit too much, but I would compare it to when like the Cowboys drafted like a Travis Frederick or a Zach Martin, where like at the time you're like, I'm not excited about this pick, but they end up being like a great player for you because he was that impressive, man. It was really good.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's get to the real news here. The real news is that we got Luke Getsy as the offensive coordinator. It's not the most exciting name for everybody because he just definitely got fired, right? we're picking up fire guys. We're giving guys second chances. Guys who just got fired. Maybe it was wrong. Maybe it was them. So that's how we're looking at things here with Mark Davis and the Raiders and Antonio Pierce. We're giving people second chances. We have Tom Telesco. He got fired. Hey, come over here, man. And then we got Luke Getsy. He got fired. Well, we don't want you. We want this other guy. He doesn't want us. Now you can come. So now we're here.
Tried to give Kliff Kingsbury a second chance too.
Yes, he got fired, right? He tried to give him a second chance. Well, I mean, the Kliff Kingsbury thing is weird because, I mean, there's a contract thing, right? Okay, and I see that, but how many offensive coordinators get 3-year contracts? I was thinking about this before we came on the show. I don't know if we could verify this, but I don't know how many, because you got to think about this. You're offensive coordinator. I don't care how many teams Kliff Kingsbury lost. He won a lot of games, made the playoffs in the NFL. If he had 2 good years with the Raiders, he gets a job again, right?
Yeah.
They make the playoffs, he does all these things. He gets a job again. So, like, does he get to a third year? Do offensive coordinators get to a third year? You know what I mean? Like, that's a weird contract type of thing. It's like, but you know what comes with a third year? Guaranteed money. So,
yeah. To play devil's advocate on the other end of the other side of, like, on Kliff's side, like, if the Raiders, if you're Mark Davis, you're Antonio Pierce, and Kliff Kingsbury really was the top guy that you wanted and really was the offensive coordinator you wanted, what's another year on the contract? You know what I mean? Like, if that's really the holdup, like that's the only holdup, that 1 year, like adding that 30 years is such a big deal. Like, it kind of makes me scratch my head a little bit, but like, if that's the guy you wanted, why was that such a big deal? Or maybe they were not that, like, maybe they were pretty even between Getsy and Kingsbury, and that was the difference, is Getsy was willing to do a 2-year deal. But yeah, that was the one thing that was weird to me, is like, okay, I get that's like, that makes sense, that could be a deal breaker, but at the same time, like, if that's the guy you wanted, why would you let that be the hang up? I don't know. Unless Mark Davis is just tired of paying coaches that aren't on his staff anymore and doesn't want to run that risk again.
I see both sides there. Like, I see what you're that's a good point you're talking about, because if you really want him, you give him the third year. But I just really, I feel like it's a little bit rare. I don't know. I don't know coordinator contracts that much. They don't get announced like that. That's probably the first time we've heard about an actual contract issue with offensive coordinator. So,
and what I'll say is, there's a reason why that we're hearing about that. There's a reason why one camp wanted to make that public and try and, like, change the narrative a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, because we kind of know why you went over there, Kliff. It's okay. You didn't got to tell us, but it's fine. It's a contract, right? It's a contract, bro. It's a contract, right? All right, man. So Luke Getsy is now here. Luke Getsy comes from Chicago. Now, the most of it that we talked about is how he handled Justin Fields. Did he build an offense around Justin Fields? Did he set up Justin Fields for success? Is probably the biggest question mark that people like with Luke Getsy. I thought it was interesting when I watched the film, but you got some stats for us, man. What are some stats? I know I looked at EPA. They're like 22nd, but it's 24th in passing, 9th in rushing. So go ahead.
Yeah, so I just kind of looked more at, like, his, like, play calling and how he did that, and kind of dove into a little bit of what he kind of drew up with Davante Adams in 2020 and 2021, because that's when he was the passing game coordinator. And I mean, if you go just look at Davante Adams' stats, those are, like, the 2 most productive years of his career, except for maybe throw in his first year with the Raiders or whatever. But obviously, like, a big part of it was those 2 back-to-back seasons where he went for, like, I think it was 1,300 in 1 year and then 1,500 the next, had like 18 touchdowns in one and 11 in the other. And it was interesting. And I think you'll like this. Davante Adams, his 2 most productive years, or his 3 most productive years, one of those being 2022 with the Raiders. Mm-hmm. He had his snaps from the slot were over 30%. And that was the consistent theme with Getsy, is he was like at, like, I want to say close to 35 one of those years. Mm-hmm. So I think, that's one thing to take a look on, to tease that article a little bit, is like, that's something I think we can see a lot of from the Raiders, just from, piecing together what you pointed out towards the end of the season, where Davante was doing a little bit better with his, like, with the free releases and all that kind of stuff. And on top of the fact that he was just simply super productive has been at his most productive the more snaps he's taken on the inside. Mm-hmm. There was something else I was going to go with that for, but losing my train of thought. Oh, and then the other year that he was used, like, in the 30% was 2022 when he was with the Raiders. Oh, and this past year, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Finally, I was able to pull it. This past year, he was down to like 16.5%. So he went from 30 in this first year with the Raiders to 16.5. And obviously it wasn't up to a standard. And that was like the lowest since like 2015, which was the second year in the league. So that's one thing. And then the other part was, he runs a decently high rate of play action, like, which I think connects to a guy like Aiden O'Connell's stats. Like, if you look at Aiden O'Connell, some of his best plays came off of play action, but they ran Fields and Rodgers when he was in Green Bay with Getsy. Like, they ran more play action, like probably like 5% more, about roughly. I think the average or the middle ground is around 27% last year. O'Connell was at like 22. So I think a little bit more play action. So I'm curious how that marries with what you've seen on film.
Yeah. So, I mean, with what I saw on film, I thought that this was kind of we want an athletic quarterback. Because I think Getsy, both times he's offensive coordinator, he's worked with athletic quarterbacks. And I think that's why he was brought into to Chicago, because he had Nick Fitzgerald at Mississippi State. I mean, you read an article, Mississippi State, it's kind of the same thing with Justin Fields. It's like, the running offense is good, but we can't pass, because he like at 51% completion percentage was really, really, really shitty.
Yeah.
You know, but Fitzgerald, he's not in the NFL or anything, so it's not like he was an NFL quarterback, but he ran for 1,100 yards with Getsy. Justin Fields ran for like 1,200, I think. I don't know if didn't he break Lamar Jackson's record that year? I think.
Yeah, I think he did this past year.
Yeah, 2022. I mean, this year, teams were ready or more ready for that zone read stuff than when they implemented in 2022 to start the year. So it was a little bit on he was having to give up the ball because teams weren't going to let him run all over their ass. So the end of the year, he found more creative ways to run the ball with Fields instead of kind of depending on doing different zone read looks. They would do split zone reads. They do, all different types of zone read looks, right? And teams were like, oh, okay, hand the ball off. We don't care. We're just going to. So if Fields was being smart, he had to hand the ball off. So it's not like that he wasn't calling the runs. It's just Fields had to hand the ball off. So to get more runs in, he added some QB sweeps in there later on in the year and kind of mix it up. But I will say what the biggest difference from, because I watched Fields in 2022, I did in the summer. And the biggest difference is this year they weren't a short passing team. They were trying as hard as hell to be completely vertical. Yeah, right. And there's a lot of cool, pretty dope vertical concepts, and I think that's why maybe Antonio Pierce likes him, because some of the deep concepts are pretty legit, man. I mean, that's why it's weird with Getsy. I'm gonna show it. There's some egregious misses, okay, in this, right, and they're very egregious, and that's the word I have to go Stephen A. Smith here. I have to use that word because
so you got to put a little more inflection on it if you're gonna quote Stephen A. Egregious.
Egregious. Yeah, but that's the thing. So I mean, you watch it, you're like, okay, man, that's some pretty cool stuff and the way that you're attacking people, and I can see why the NFL is like, man, that's Fields, right? And it makes you wonder how high the NFL really is on Fields. Are they really getting a second for him if they really feel this way about Getsy? But I think Getsy did try to build it around Justin Fields. Is this Justin Fields? Is just Justin Fields, and it doesn't matter if he's like, okay, we're not going to do a quick passing offense. We're going to do all summer, and we're going to do all these crazy vertical things because you like to throw it on the field, but then you don't want to throw the ball still. I wonder how they felt. Like that's really all I was watching, man. I was kind of shocked at how many vertical concepts there was. Like he definitely went to I will say this, he definitely went into a little bit into the Mississippi State bag, because just to get some deep vertical and how to attack stuff, but you can't do all of that. So then there's spacing issues, which I didn't highlight too much because it wasn't too much spacing issues, but there was enough because of you good? Oh, yeah. So I mean, there was some spacing issues, but like with that type of situation where you can't do what you can do in college, it's not going to work. So I think they try to mix it up, but I mean, they're still under center run the football team and mix it up that way. But I think they try to be vertical, and if the Raiders want to be a vertical passing team, then this is their guy. But I wouldn't say that he wants a pocket passer. I wouldn't necessarily say that, because I do think he likes to run the zone read. I still think.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that's and I think kind of what you were talking about, or a little bit to reinforce what you're talking. That's the one thing I found is like he's going to dial up the deep shots. Like if you go up and look at like the breakdown of percentages between like Aiden O'Connell and like Aaron Rodgers, again, a lot more arm talent, and even Justin Fields has more arm strength, I'll say, than a guy like Aiden O'Connell does. And I feel like that's where AOC is going to fall short in this offense is like for everything. Like, that's funny. When I looked at 3 different things, I looked at the play action, which I talked about earlier, fits with what Aiden O'Connell is, where he likes to attack in the field, pretty much between the numbers. For the most part, he's going to try and keep it in that, keep balls in the middle of the field. Great for what Aiden O'Connell does. But the one thing that's a real stickler, at least from the passing game perspective, is Aiden O'Connell can't throw it deep like he's going to want them to. Like, he does not have the arm, which we kind of talked about a little bit in going over the OC stuff with Aiden O'Connell. And one of the biggest things with him throughout the season is he does not have the arm talent to push the ball down the field, which even Antonio Pierce is talking about wanting to do. And that's part of the reason, like you said, why they hired Getsy. And that's the thing that I think is I don't know how big that checkbox is for him, if that's going to be, kind of the deal breaker for Getsy, if he's going to have to go ahead and target. But I think, like you said, like, the read option and the deep shots are such a big part of his offense that the Raiders are probably going to have to go target one of these top 3 dudes. Unless they want to go after Bo Nix, which we weren't exactly hyping up Bo Nix.
Bo Nix for Sean Payton. That's Sean Payton. That's a Sean Payton. Sean Payton loved every short pass he was throwing at the Senior Bowl. He loved those quick outs. Look at him get that quick out right there. Ooh, wow.
I guess JJ McCarthy can run too. So
yeah, JJ McCarthy can run. I mean, JJ McCarthy can run this offense. I don't know how. See, JJ McCarthy's weird because he has like 80 passes all year, so I don't know how actually accurate he is on anything. That's the thing, man. I mean, Jim Harbaugh just kept. He basically is like 3rd and 8. Do it, JJ, and JJ did it most of the time. But he's like he is really high up there in 3rd down conversions or something like that. But yeah, you want to know why? Because Jim Harbaugh was like 3rd and 7. All right, JJ, here's our only passing concept we got.
Yeah.
Save us.
Let's see.
Oh, man. All right. Yeah, but it's very vertical. So, I don't know. That's if they go on free agency, I mean, it's something that, if you looked at like a Baker Mayfield or the Russell Wilsons, I mean, this would be perfect Russell. I mean, Russell would eat, actually. He just like
the middle of the field part.
I mean, yeah, that too, man. That too. But I mean, he can hit it. Other than that, it's a 15-yard dig. He can hit the 30-yard crosser. He can see that. It's still dark down enough field where there's not enough. I don't know, man.
I mean, I guess he does check more boxes than a guy like Aiden O'Connell. To what we were talking about earlier. But can he still run? I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, he could do a little zone read, I guess. But that's what it's more about. Like if it's going to be somebody that can run this type of offense that can throw deep like that. I mean, even Spencer Rattler could do something if they want to. If he's going to do the vertical routes that he's doing here, I don't know if they come here and he decides I have Aiden O'Connell. Let me go back to 2022 and do a bunch of quick throws, because there still is some quick throws in here. It's just you just can't do that with Justin Fields. So I mean, what's the point? that's basically what I felt like when I was watching this. Gotcha. And so like I felt like he did adjust to him. It's just Justin, bro. Justin's just Justin.
Yeah, and I think that was the one like saving grace for me. Like, because I think I'm still skeptical of the hire because, like you said, like I would have like. He doesn't have success as an offense coordinator. He has success as a passing game coordinator when he had Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers, the 2 guys that were at the top of the game.
Yeah.
But like they hired a guy that was not good at his last stop. And again, I sat here and I broke down Justin Fields' film and I had the same takeaway as you of this is frustrating watching him turn down all these open throws, which speaks to Getsy. But at the same time, it's not like they're getting a guy that's like got a proven system. It's as Charles Woodson said on Twitter in response to this hire, we'll see how it works out. Not exactly a ringing endorsement.
We'll see how it works out. That's all you can say. That's all you can say. Yeah, because I mean that's the main issue is just like what is he going to do when he comes over here? Because like I said, last year is not the offense that I watched this year. Last year was more West Coast kind of thing. This is definitely still West Coast to it, but it was just more like we're trying to build around Justin Fields and we want Justin Fields to be successful. So yeah, we'll see though. And maybe that's what Jordan Pierce liked. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably. All right. Let's do it. Let's get into it, man. Let's just all right, here we go. So we start with the rushing offense. Start with the under center stuff. So I mean, there is a lot of under center and it's a lot of zone. All right. Now, most of the zone is zone read, but when they go under center, they do mix it up. It's very even when it's under center. But if you go like on a PFF, you see that there's a big zone and gap difference. But that's a lot of it's because they run a lot of zone read, so that makes sense there, right? But we also get some outside zone here on this one, little lead outside zone, and of course, you know, Mr. Journeyman Foreman who just goes there and gets 500 yards for somebody and then goes somewhere else the next year.
He's a free agent this year, I believe.
What is it? He's your local substitute running back.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So outside zone, a little under center here, and then I mean, if you're a Raiders fan, you'll remember these tosses. A lot of these crack tosses when they're under center. So under center, got the toss here. Good blocking. The offensive line played a whole lot better at the end of the year too. I don't know if they started playing well together or they got healthy.
They got Jenkins back and their left tackle back.
Mm-hmm. They got healthy.
I forget the left tackle's name.
I don't know, number 7 here. All right, and then yeah, some more tosses here. Another toss here on this one. It's just toss city from under center, and I mean, you could be like, oh, this is repetitive, but they do this really well, as you can tell. So yeah. he coaches these runs really well.
Oh, outside zone toss.
Little outside zone tosses here, man. And so you see the number 70 back. Who is that number 70? Yeah, because he was dominating too. So yeah, they got their line back. They played a whole lot better. All right, and then even with the power, you get some duo here on this one. Little duo. Herbert just does a great job making guy miss. So a lot of mixture of the you know, it's pretty versatile, but it is mainly zone. All right. Of course, I mean, the bread and butter here is his zone read. I mean, this is really the basis of his run game, because even when he had Tyson Badgett in there, they did this. All right. I mean, Badgett probably didn't keep the ball as much, but this is a key part of it. All right. So we'll watch this and kind of watch a breakdown of this a little bit. So, of course, it's a split zone one. I really like how they did this one. It's a lot of split zone. So, nothing very split zone. This tight end, he's going to come around here. He's going to block this guy. It could be a variation of inside zone or outside zone with split zone. So now we're getting split inside zone, or what John Gruden would call slice, right here. And you see where Fields is reading it. He's reading this outside.
Yeah,
this outside defensive end right here, like usual zone reads. It says these guys are staying. Like I told you, these guys were staying all year. They didn't care. You're giving that ball up.
Oh,
you see how open it outside. You go out here. He wanted some of Cam Sutton. All right, and here we go again. You see that same split zone read on this one.
Strong side this time.
Mm-hmm. You see he's reading the defensive end. He's crashing, so he just hands it off right up the middle. Big old hole. So yeah, I mean, this is really the basis of the whole run game. That they did this over and over and over again from different looks.
Yeah,
and it worked.
And I mean, look at what that back up. Watch 51. Watch the linebacker right above the right guard. Yeah, watch. He's like, this is what a running quarterback does. The ball is out. He's handed it off, but the linebacker's in he's in no man's land because he can't go. He doesn't know where to go, and ends up vacating the area, making it easier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He also makes that right tackle block a lot easier because he can square up on him at the second level versus if he's just cheating inside, he can come make that play.
So you see it here again. This what I was mean is this is what I mean that when they say that was he calling the runs? He was, but I mean this guy's not moving, right? He's really out there, in my opinion. He's pretty far out there. He's not letting Justin do anything. right? That's former Raider Carl Nassib right there. Oh, no, it's not him. It's Anthony Nelson. My bad.
So say I didn't think Nassib played this year.
Yeah, you see how it opens up the run game, having a quarterback like that when you run the system. So you see here, now we see sometimes Justin Fields would force keep it kind of a little bit, but you see on this one, it's another one right up the middle. I mean, the Bucks are different. They got Vita Vea. It's just a little different. He just changes things, you know. He changes stuff. Because 62 he had a long day, man. I was watching long day for 62. It's definitely was hard.
Patrick, we were talking about him with Telesco.
Long day. Definitely. Woo. All right, here we go. And now we'll see one where Fields actually gets to keep it. So we're getting that split zone, but this time with the fullback. So we're switching up the looks. We got two tight ends over here, right? We still got the tight end kind of set up. Now he's not far enough to hit the split zone, but you're not really expecting it this time from the fullback. And you see this defensive end, he crashes, and there goes Fields. So yeah, it's zone read city over here, guys. And like I said, they did this with Tyson Badger, so I don't think it's. Everyone's like, oh, it's Aiden O'Connell. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. All right, and then what I like about this one, this is the kind of the switch up. I mean, where teams were kind of stopping them from running the football, right? And Justin Fields, he was having to give the ball a lot or forcing it, like he saw in that last play. So I'll show this last play again. See, he kind of forced this one too.
Yeah, I was gonna say that should have been a give read.
Yeah, he forced it.
I mean, he made the guy miss. Doesn't really matter,
right? That's what he's like. Just give me the ball. So what they did here is they switched into some more QB sweeps. Now it's not a full pin pull. I mean, I guess you can kind of say that when he's having this running back lead here.
Yeah.
But these are kind of the switch ups they did here. So this is more like what the Bills used to do with Josh Allen when they used to run a lot more in the red zone with the ball. You kind of still see the
advantage.
Yeah, exactly. And you see how he's lined up, and then even when you get this, what I like about the design, you see this tight end moving this way. All right, it just holds those guys just enough. First down. You see here now. I like it on this one because this is the same concept, right? Saying you gets QB power, number 70. He's going to pull out. But now we're in trips, right? We're in trips. So these guys are spread out. So now it's like, what we got over here? They only got 3 linemen down, right? And this guy's way out here. So this is just a mismatch on this side. This is called creating a mismatch in the run game. And he does. Especially with the quarterback running, you get a huge play here. So, I mean, there's a lot. There's some cool stuff in here. That's why,
it helps you run the ball. It helps run the ball when you're in 11 and 10 personnel, and you can again have a running quarterback. You get them in their sub packages.
Mm-hmm. It's easy, and then you get a running back who wants to block like that. You know what I mean?
Also helps. Yeah.
So, I mean, if they did get somebody like Jaden Daniels, I mean, it's something there. Like I said, Justin Fields, teams just weren't letting Fields do this, right? I mean, he's way out here, man, and I don't know why Fields kept this. he still ended up getting 5 yards because it's just good like that. But man, running the football is crazy. All right, so we'll get into the pass game here now. So on this first one, you're getting some choice routes here. So go back here. So we'll get into the quick game here first. So getting choice routes. This is kind of the basis of a lot of the short passing, which is typical West Coast stuff. This is stuff you guys saw with John Gruden 8,000 times. I mean, this is the play they ran where it's on the Zay Jones play versus the Chargers on that 3rd and 9. Exact same play. So what you're going to get, you get slant, out, hitch, and he's going to read basically the coverage in front of him, and then you get a corner route over top of it. So it kind of looks like smash, but it's a choice route, right? So DJ Moore, he sees it right away. I just take the out just based on the coverage and the shift from the blitz they're sending, right?
I'm screaming, throw the quick out at the top of the screen.
I know it's there, right? I mean, because especially he's showing blitz too. I mean, he's showing blitz. Clearly is. He's clearly blitzing. But hey, we're, all right. But we still get a completion here on the choice route on this side. They're very close, but we get a play though. We get a play. So you see, it was double choice routes both sides, but yeah. Yeah. So that's the choice route around that one. All right, and then, of course, he knows how to get the ball to his playmakers on the screen. So he likes to do these screens here. You got DJ Moore. I'm gonna get some of these screens, and we getting these big boys out there, and you got he's just running people over.
And that's why Dono, right? Was he top 10?
Yeah, top 10, right? Yep. Just ran him over. Ridiculous over there. And then, typical West Coast stuff here. You get some sticks right there. So this is typical West Coast passing game stuff on this one. So
that was a good read.
Yeah, see, there we go. All right, and like I said, but it is a lot of choice routes. It's gonna be choice routes to everybody. You even gets a lot of choice routes to the tight end. I did want to show this is the incompletion, okay? But I don't even really know if it's a choice route because I mean he had to go outside, I guess, on his because he's playing inside leverage a little bit. But so it is gonna be a lot for Michael Mayer too. So I just want to point that out on some of this. But as you can see, as he does take that out because he's kind of playing inside leverage there. He's kind of playing a little outside. I don't know. I feel like he should have slanted. That's just me. But he does take the out here, and he does get open. But as you see, kind of, maybe the quarterback just gets the ball out a little quicker there. Be a little different outlook, but it's gonna be a lot of stuff to the tight end too. I mean, you're gonna get a lot of targets to Michael Mayer. I just want to point that out. Now, this is what I was talking about a lot: is the vertical part of the offense that he was implementing. Okay, so I like this concept really a lot because you're getting verts, right, and you're getting 2 curls here, right? So kind of plays like a curl wheel type of thing with 2 seams here, and you kind of get curl wheel over here. And what it does, because they're playing in cover 2. The Commanders here, they're playing cover 2, right? So as soon as you see this, right, in this safety, he goes inside this corner. He can't drift because he has to stay here, even though he probably should have drifted because you don't want to leave up a touchdown, and you rather give up this on 3rd and 14. But that's just me. Yeah. He just allows a touchdown. But you just see how the concept worked, right? I mean, it just put this corner in a bind. Yeah. And, even if the safety went this way, he could have threw it here. I mean, he could have threw it here, too, if he threw this out ball outside. Maybe not. I mean, that's maybe back shoulder. He has arm strength for it, though. But you see how this was a great design, though, on the all verticals here. Now, this one I really like this one because we're getting switch verticals. So you're going to get kind of a faking the choice routes, right? So we're going to kind of fake what the choice routes look like. And he's going to get a vertical, and then he's going to run a seam up here, right? And get the same thing over here. But it's going to look like the choice routes, all right? So you kind of see what the choice routes look like. It kind of has the same look, but then it doesn't. And he's right up the field. And, it puts this safety in a bind again because, right, he has to play both the seam and this kind of out and up, right? And he goes to the left a little bit and leaves that little bit of room there, and there's a great throw from field. See what he throws the ball, man.
But it's not even the right read. Like, how does he keep getting away with this? He's got the easy touchdown at the top of the screen.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god.
Yeah, easy touchdown because he can't get there. He throws it right here. He can't get there. Great throw though, right there. All right, but it's a great concept though. Great concept. We're watching the concept here, Matt. Great concept.
I know it's everything's schemed open.
All right. Okay. So I really like this one too because we just watched earlier. Same look. They did a what was it? QB sweep. They did a QB sweep earlier. Same look. All right. So this time we're getting play action, right? And we're getting a play action off it, and we're gonna get a crosser on this one. I believe he's gonna go short here. I believe, right, Kemet? And then a deep route, kind of a corner route here from DJ Moore. So, right? You see him fake it.
Yeah.
All right. So that's why I like how he's playing, making plays off plays. So it's like he's setting up these type of things. So yeah, we ran that first play of the game, but now we fake it. We come backside here, and he hits Brown on the crosser right there. So that's what I'm saying. I feel like they could have tried to get an athletic quarterback. I'm just saying. Because you can't do it. I mean, Aiden O'Connell can't do that.
No.
You can't even set that up like that, right? So I'll show it from the backside. You can't even set this up with Aiden O'Connell, to be fair, right? Because if you just look, go ahead. Go ahead, man.
If you fake QB power with Aiden O'Connell, the linebacker's going to laugh at you.
But you know what I'm saying? Like look at I just like this design because it's literally the same look. You even see Foreman, he's leading the way, and then boom, comes right back. You know, I kind of wish he got to this over quicker, but
yeah, me too. But
you know,
at least he threw it to the right.
It's a low high read, man. He's supposed to go. I'll be fair to him. I'll be fair. All right, and then here's another one. Oh, you're noticing a lot of play action. A lot of play action. I mean, I would even consider that last play a play action type of play.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and this is a Chiefs special. You're gonna see this play on Sunday. The Chiefs run this every single game for 10 years with Andy Reid, where the tight end goes in and out off play action and come back outside.
Yeah, like a variation of the flood concept.
Mm-hmm. Tell you when he throws the ball, man. That throw is a great throw.
Maybe tick late, but it's a good ball.
Yeah, I think it's the windup. I really do. I feel it's the windup.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're probably right.
It's the windup,
man. Baseball player windup. He's not like the quick release.
All right, and then I really like this one too. This concept. How they set this one up. All right. So because the Lions they're in too high, right? They're playing a lot of too high. And you see he's looking for any crosser here. But what he does is he sets up this one-on-one up top, right? Because the safety he's worrying about this crosser over here. So this guy, especially with where they're playing, he's working over here. And Fields does a good job of bringing this guy over here a little bit. And he's able to step up and throw it to DJ Moore here. So there's some big plays we had. Even this one, I love this design too, because on this one, they're in quarters again, right? They're in quarters, but you have to. He's forcing Cam Sutton to be up here because they're look where St. Brown is. This is Equanimous St. Brown, right? Wide receiver. He's inside here. So Cam Sutton has to be here. This brings the safety down too on this tight end, but they're still playing too high quarters coverage, right? So
Yeah.
what happens is now he creates a one-on-one with Maury and the safety and DJ Moore in this corner. So now you got one-on-ones with both those guys. Yeah, I mean, he missed this one. But these are the type of cool stuff that he does against some of these teams. Now, this one, I posted this on Twitter. I guess this went viral. Some guys accused me of trying to go viral because I saw this play and I knew they went viral before. I didn't know that, but I can see why this play went viral because this is crazy. All right, so on this one, we're gonna get a motion here, right? Motion right here. So, but from this motion, what we're getting is kind of a switch verticals, in my opinion. But you're gonna get Cole Kemet. Is Kemet, right? Is that how you say?
Cole Kmet.
Cole Kmet. Okay, Cole Kmet. He is gonna run a wheel. Then you're gonna get a seam from the running back, and you're gonna get a dig from this corner. Now, what this does though is you'll see 15 here because the Bucks are in cover 3. 15, or I think this is 15 or whatever his number is. He is going to come down here and just sit here, which is going to hold Antoine Winfield, who is the curl flat player in cover 3. Okay. So I'll stop it right here. You see how this guy, he's holding it. You know, Winfield has to come down. He has to respect this, right? And now it's like it creates 2 on 3 up here. That's what's happening. We got 2 on 3. He has anywhere he can go to school. He can go here, or he can go here.
Yeah,
which is, you know, and he takes.
He goes nowhere. He runs into a sack. That was a clean pocket too. Jesus.
and look at Johnson. Like Johnson's like looking around. He's like, he's trying to. Is somebody around me? See how he looks?
He's like, yeah. He's like trying. He's like, he's like, should I put my hand up? Like, I think I.
See how he looks forward?
Yeah. He's like, no, I am open. I am this white ass open.
Oh, sorry, man. I just. That had to be frustrating to watch. You know, if he was, as I'm saying, like he was looking like backside or something, it missed that. I'd be different, but man, that was the concept was to flood that side.
I like that play call a lot. That was creative.
Yeah, so it's some creative vertical stuff. That's why I like a lot of the vertical stuff is creative. So on this one, we're getting to sail route. I didn't set this one up, so we're getting a sail on this one. So we're getting a kind of sail route, and sometimes the sail you can get a post, or it could just be a pure go. And we're getting a dig on the backside. Now this one is schemed up pretty well too, right? So he wants the sail. He's waiting on the sail. I think he's waiting on it too long, a little bit, in my opinion. But you know, DJ Moore is wide open backside. If he wanted to go there, he has plenty of time. But you know, even the sail is still open. He could hit the sail, but he just. I mean, he could even throw the Chase Claypool if he really wanted to.
The check down. Are you talking?
No. Chase Claypool was. He got the guy, the step on the guy on the post. Right here.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. He puts it in front. Yeah.
I don't know what to say. Some of these. All right, and here's another one. I mean, when I talk about them holding, you know, keeping Cam Sutton in the box and kind of, you know, messing up what they want to do, because you know they're a running football team. This is what they do. They run the ball well. The running back, the quarterback's a part of the run game. Cam Sutton's in the box, right? So play action here. Cam Sutton's still in the box, right? They're doing in cover 3. And what you're getting from these routes is he's gonna flood it again here. So we got basically a vert, which I've really never seen this concept. That's why I said this is college, because he's got a vertical behind the dig instead of in front of the dig, right? So the vert's behind the dig. But I mean, St. Brown is just running down the field. I mean, he's just tore his team up right here for a big play off this play action, because just the linebacker sinking enough, right? Sink enough, you can't get all the way back to that drop. Boom, ball's out. That's a big play.
Yeah.
I mean, he could be this big play here.
Could probably, no.
Yeah, man. I just, So it's hard. It's hard to say. Like even this one, I mean, he definitely maybe could have went to this route down here.
Corner, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a little
Especially with the
tougher. But
safety opening his hips to the middle of the field.
But on TV, this looks really cool because this is what I'm saying. Like, so quarterbacks are playmaking quarterbacks when you watch them on broadcast. This looks really cool on broadcast. You're like, oh, nobody's open downfield. Then he rolls out and he throws all the way downfield to Cole Kmet, and he makes a play. Like, what a playmaker! And he just could have threw it to this corner route for a big play. Yeah, but that's it. Here you go, guys. I gave you Luke Getsy and his passing offense and everything. Pretty in depth there. In depth stuff.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts, Matt? What's your thoughts?
I mean, it's kind of what I was talking about before. Like, I definitely feel like I'm a little bit more of a believer in Getsy now that we've seen even more examples of just, again, Justin Fields just turning throws down, and I think that led to a lot of the bad numbers and the lack of success out in Chicago. So it's encouraging. The one thing I know, like I think you pointed this out on Twitter, and I think I've seen it other people pointed out, just from talking about the Bears and Getsy is like, and it's like the spacing, like on some of his routes sometimes can get a little convoluted. Like, and I don't know, maybe this was just a bad route, like on one of those ones, or it was one of the vertical concepts that you had showed, like if the receiver just worked wide, and again, maybe that's on the receiver, maybe it's not on the design, like spacing would have been better and they would have had 3 guys wide eyes open. So I think that's like the one qualm I will have, that just from seeing like, different stuff from people that I trust on social media and stuff like that. So that would be the biggest issue, I think, schematically from him is just, spacing issues from time to time.
Yeah, spacing issues. Yeah. I mean, even because even that one play that I showed, the last play, not the last play, the one before with the Lions, that's just a weird concept to kind of have him go under the dig. So then it's how long does he wait? And then like it's some of those things are long developing, right? So, but you still saw how he was able to protect the quarterback a little bit and give him time to get those concepts off. It's just you just don't have 20 seconds. So, but I think the vertical designs was very encouraging for me. We'll just see how it works out, and if they could get it implemented pretty quickly here, and then especially how he's going to use Devontae too. Does that make him go back to more short passing? Does he try to stay away from those verticals? But if you could put Trey Tucker in that Mr. St. Brown role, number 19, man, that's a big play right there. That's a big play. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of Trey Tucker stuff that I saw there that Trey Tucker could do, that he could find ways to scheme him open too, so. Yeah.
And I think that's one of the other things that like concerns me a little bit about, the Raiders, the way they're currently made up, is Devontae at his age isn't a speed guy, and never really been one. And I mean, if you look at Getsy too, like how he used Devontae, like Devontae's shortest A dots were in that 2021 and 2022, or excuse me, 2020 and 2021 years. So, and like where he really used him almost more of as a yak threat. And then obviously Jacoby Myers doesn't have top end speed. Trey Tucker guy, I mean, that guy's got to be excited looking at some of these concepts. So I think that's where I get a little concerned too, of like, and it would have been similar with Kliff Kingsbury too, where like need a new quarterback, need some more speed outside, where it's like there does need to be a little bit of a shift in how the Raiders personnel is made up to make this offense function the way that it is. Like that's the one thing the Bears did have, is they did have some speed outside with, St. Brown, like you mentioned, DJ Moore, Mooney could run, even a guy who didn't really end up doing much in Velus Jones, he could fly too. That was one of the things that they made a big point of emphasis in their receiving core when they were putting together that roster, is getting some speed out wide. I think that's where the Raiders currently lack right now.
Yeah, so I mean that might be their focus of free agency, and even looking at the draft, man. I mean, there's some pretty fast guys out there at the Senior Bowl. I mean, Roman Wilson is a guy that maybe like in the hopefully, I don't know where he's gonna go, but he is a speed guy, you know, and that's somebody that had a really good Senior Bowl. And those type of players they can look at and try to figure out if they can build something on it. But yeah, right now they don't have the speed to do that type of offense that I was just watching right now. But last thing I'll say, man, Michael Mayer might ball in this offense.
Yeah. Be interesting. It'd be interesting to compare him and Cole Kmet. Might have to do that later on or on the site and whatnot. But yeah, be an interesting comparison between those two guys. Both Notre Dame guys.
Yeah. It just some of those routes that he would be running, man. I've been waiting to watch him run down the field and do a vertical route, man, outside. So I'm waiting for that because just throw it up. Just throw it up.
Did they give Kmet a lot of 50-50 balls?
Yeah, he did. He got a bunch of 50-50 balls.
There it is right there with Mayer. I mean, fill that role.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, Kmet was a big part of the offense. I mean, Fields was, you saw in that last play, Fields was like, oh, where are you? There he is. Just throw it to him. So he did that a lot. Even to like the point where like he would, you know, especially at the end of the season, he would like miss guys and looking for Cole. So
yeah.
All right, man. Any last thoughts? Any other thoughts on nothing?
I mean, like I said, I think you can be a little more optimistic about the Getsy hire after watching some of that. Again, you know, I know the numbers don't look pretty and they're not what we'd all hoped and what we're thinking of with the offensive coordinator. But again, very clearly hampered by some just poor quarterback play and decisions. Reason why the Bears are likely going to be drafting a quarterback number 1 overall, even with having Justin Fields under contract for 1 more year and 2 if they really wanted to. So I think that's the encouraging part. A lot of interesting stuff in the running game. It's just a matter of can they get one of those running quarterbacks and a guy that can move a little bit and again, speed out wide is going to be the 2 biggest things I think right now that I think the Raiders are currently lacking in how they're currently put together.
Yeah, for sure. Speed out wide and an athletic quarterback. But I mean, obviously that was the goal. They got Kingsbury and they got Getsy, right? Yeah. So and Chip Kelly. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, they very clearly want to go to a more college-ish offense. And spread guys out a little bit. So it's interesting.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. All right. Any last thoughts?
About it, man.
All right, man. All right. We're out of here, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Hopefully this is official and we don't got to do this again. Hopefully I'm not breaking down Chip Kelly next week. Hopefully this.
You guys want to see some read options.
Hopefully, I'm not breaking down Chip Kelly next week for my third offensive coordinator. Let's hope not. You know, I haven't seen the Luke Getsy announcement yet. I haven't seen the official press. You know, so
yeah, you're telling me I wrote 2 articles about him today. So if they don't hire him, I'm going to be pissed.
An hour and a half.
They better make this official pretty soon.
For sure, bro. All right, guys, we're out of here. Subscribe. We're out. Peace.
Yeah.